doing a little bit of exploring here, and I am going to also be reading The Gods of the Copybook Headings. It's an old poem by Rudyard Kipling. I think he wrote it in, let's say, 1913 or somewhere around there. In fact, let me adjust the mic volume just to make sure I'm able to be heard. Good. Okay. As I pass my daily incantation
Frameshift drive charging
of every Asian race, I make my proper prostrations to the gods of the marketplace. Peering through reverent fingers, I watch as they flourish and fall, but the gods of the copybook headings, I notice, outlast them all. We were living in the trees when they met us, and they showed us each in turn, as surely as water will wet us, as surely as fire will burn. And though...
fuel scooping.
Now I lost my place. Surely as fire would burn. But we found them lacking in uplift, vision, and breadth of mind, so we left them to teach the gorillas, while we followed the march of mankind.
Frameshift drive charging.
We moved as the spirit listed, they never altered their pace, being neither cloud nor windborne, like the gods of the marketplace. But they eventually always caught up to our progress, and presently word would come that a tribe had been wiped off its ice field, or the lights had gone out in Rome. With the... sorry, I'm reading this from memory. It's having a few brain farts at the moment. With the hopes that our world was built on, they were utterly out of touch. They denied the moon was Stilton. They denied she was even Dutch. They denied that wishes were horses. They denied that a pig had wings. So we worshiped the gods of the market, who promised us these beautiful things. When the Cambrian measures were forming, we were promised perpetual peace. They swore if we gave them our weapons, that the wars of the tribes would cease. But when we disarmed, they sold us and delivered us bound to our foe. And the gods of the copybook headings said, stick to the devil you know. On the first Feminian sandstones, we were promised a fuller life. It begun by loving our neighbor and ended by loving his wife. Till the women had no more children, and the men lost reason and faith. And the gods, the copybook headings, said the wages of sin is death. In the Carboniferous epoch, we were promised abundance for all by robbing selected Peter to pay for collective Paul. And though we had plenty of money, there was nothing our money could buy. And the gods of the copybook headings said, if you don't work, you die. And the gods of the market tumbled, and their smooth-tongued wizards withdrew, and the hearts of the meanest were humbled as they began to believe it was true. That all that glitters is not gold, and two make four. And the gods of the copybook headings limped up to explain it once more, as it will be in the future. It was at the birth of man. There are only four things certain since social progress began. That the dog returns to his vomit, and the sow returns to her mire, and the burnt fool's bandaged finger goes wobbling back to the fire. And after this is accomplished, and the brave new world begins, where all men are paid for existing, yet none must pay for their sins. As surely as water will wet us, as surely as fire will burn, the gods of the copybook headings, with terror and slaughter, return. So that is it, and obviously it was, as I said, written in somewhere around 1913. I'm not 100% sure on the dates. That was honestly all top of my head, because I've read several times. It's one of my favorites.
Frameshift drive charging.
And if it seems like there's any racial, sexist tones in there, there probably are, you know, considering when it was written. But looking those aside, it does seem to carry through a pattern that's repeated through history. It seems to be again and again and again as nations rise and fall over hundreds of years. Hopefully that trend gets broken and does not continue, but it is something that gives me pause and concern, which is part of the reason why I like it as much as I do.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
So I think I might end this video right here and then just finish recording a little trip here on a fresh new one. So should be both uploaded around the same time, I want to say.